From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the morning news for October 20th, 2025. These are the stories we are covering at this hour. Due to the ongoing government shutdown, Pennsylvania SNAP recipients will not receive benefits that were slated to be paid in November. In a post on the state's official website, the Department of Human Services notes that as of October 16th, SNAP benefits will not be paid until the federal government shutdown ends and funds are released to the state. SNAP recipients will be properly notified when payments can resume and when future payments can be expected. If recipients need immediate food assistance, they are urged to call 211 or visit the Feeding Pennsylvania website or the PA Navigate website. The Department of Human Services is also reminding residents that they are still responsible for completing renewals and reporting any changes to their income, contact information, or the people living in their home during the government shutdown. A congressional bill passed in July 2025 will result in further changes to SNAP benefits as of November 1st, 2025. Those receiving benefits will need to report their work, schooling, or volunteer participation to the Department of Human Services. Beginning November 1st, to keep or become eligible for SNAP benefits, certain people will have to meet SNAP work requirements that include working, volunteering, or participating in an education or training program for at least 20 hours a week, or 80 hours each month, and report that they are meeting these work requirements. In other news, Philadelphia police found human remains Saturday in their search for a 23-year-old woman who disappeared from her nursing home job 2 weeks ago. Police held a news conference Saturday to give an update on the disappearance of Kata Scott and released a statement saying investigators recovered human remains believed to be hers. But John Stanford, Deputy Commissioner of the Philadelphia Police Department, stopped short of confirming the remains in a wooded area behind an abandoned school were Scott's. An anonymous tip led police to the area they'd previously searched, according to Stanford. He said the remains believed to be the body of a woman were found in a shallow grave. He added that it appeared the person had been dead for several days. We are not going to confirm at this point that it is Kata Scott because that has to be done by the medical examiner's office, he said. There's still a lot of work to be done. Stanford said investigators were in touch with Scott's family on the developments, but he declined to answer specific questions, citing an active investigation. Police spokeswoman Tanya Little said Sunday that the department did not have any updates. A message left Sunday for the medical examiner's office by CBS News wasn't immediately returned. The case has prompted questions about the justice system. 21-year-old Keon King has been arrested and charged with kidnapping, stalking, and other charges in the disappearance of Scott. He had been allowed to go free after being charged in a similar case earlier this year. In the Scott case, King's bail has been set at $2.5 million. He remains in custody and has a preliminary hearing next month. His defense attorney did not return a message seeking comment. Over the weekend, large crowds of protesters marched and rallied in cities across the U.S. on Saturday for the No Kings demonstrations, decrying what participants see as the government's swift drift into authoritarianism under President Donald Trump. People carrying signs with slogans such as "Nothing is more patriotic than protesting" or "Resist fascism" packed into New York City's Times Square and rallied by the thousands in parks in Boston, Atlanta, Chicago, and throughout Pennsylvania. Demonstrators marched through Washington and downtown Los Angeles and picketed outside capitals in several Republican-led states, a courthouse in Billings, Montana, and at hundreds of smaller public spaces. It should be noted here that there was a No Kings rally in Harrisburg at the Capitol. Trump's Republican Party disparaged the demonstrations as Hate America rallies, but in many places the events looked more like a street party. There were marching bands, huge banners with the U.S. Constitution's "We the People" preamble that people could sign, and demonstrators wearing inflatable costumes, particularly frogs, which have emerged as a sign of resistance in Portland, Oregon. It was the third mass mobilization since Trump's return to the White House and came against a backdrop of a government shutdown that not only has closed federal programs and services, but is testing the core balance of power as an aggressive executive confronts Congress and the courts in ways that protest organizers warn are a slide toward authoritarianism. In Washington, Iraq War Marine veteran Sean Howard said he had never participated in a protest before, but was motivated to show up because of what he sees as the Trump administration's disregard for the law. He said immigration detentions without due process and deployments of troops in U.S. cities are un-American and alarming signs of eroding democracy. I fought for freedom and against this kind of extremism abroad, said Howard, who added that he also worked at the CIA for 20 years on counter-extremism operations. And now I see a moment in America where we have extremists everywhere who are, in my opinion, pushing us to some kind of civil conflict. And that's the news at this hour. If you like our news videos on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. PEP Radio is proud to be participating in the Equal Rights, Equal Care March and Rally at the Capitol in Harrisburg on October 26, beginning at 1 p.m. If you are in the area, please join us. PEP Radio is available on the Live 365 app, the PEP Radio page at paequality.com, Roku, and Alexa. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.